What's up, everybody? It's Hank here with Break MMA. Really pumped about my guest today. I've seen all of his fights. Win or lose, he always lays it out on the line. Great highlights. If you watch his highlight reel, the jumping kick to the chest always sticks out. Chaz Skelly. What's up, Chaz?
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. Like I was just mentioning, everybody, and I believe it's your profile picture on your Twitter. Everybody, when the highlights is that jumping kick to the chest. Was that at the beginning of round one, or was that at the beginning of? That was the very.
Yeah, it was the beginning of round one. Yeah, it was like 17 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, and I mean, was that the game plan to run out with and try that?
Yeah, yeah, that was game plan. That's like his kind of his thing, Maximo Blanco. That's kind of what he does. Is he runs out and always tries to throw like a flying kick or something like that at the beginning of the fight. So I just decided I was going to do it first, just to meet him in the middle.
And you planted him right in the chest.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty lucky. Couldn't have asked for it to work out any better. That's for sure. I was practicing in my hotel room all week, so.
So, what is your record in the UFC? I've seen some of your fights, but what's your overall record? Do you know off the top of your head?
I think it's 6-3.
6-3. So you've been with them a while.
Yeah, that's my 10th fight.
Oh yeah. So you mentioned off air before we come on, you're fighting this November.
Yeah, November 10th, fighting a guy named Bobby Moffitt in Denver. Should be a good one.
Is it on a fight night?
Do what?
Is it on a fight night or is it on?
Yeah, it's a fight night card. I don't know what it's called. Just fight night.
Hopefully it'll be on FS1 so we can see it.
Should be. I don't know. They haven't given me the lineup yet, so hopefully, I'm sure it'll be on Fox Sports 1.
Definitely. So you haven't. I think I've seen the last fight you had was in 2017, right?
Yeah, I fought Jason Knight. I lost that one.
So it's actually weird because I had Jason Knight on the show a couple of weeks ago. We didn't talk about you or mention you at all. But did you guys have any bad blood or any kind of bad animosity leading up to the fight?
No, not at all. Oh. No, he's a nice dude.
Yeah, he's pretty.
Seems like a pretty good guy. And I've talked to him. I've actually talked to him on social media a little bit afterwards and stuff too. He seems like a nice guy. I mean, I never really have any bad blood with anybody. I don't really care. It's not really my thing. So I'm just going out there to do a job, and I know they're going out there to do a job too. So I'm more of like I like joking around. I like funny stuff. I'm not really into like trying to act like a hard ass and punk people on Twitter or something.
So after the Jason Knight fight, it's been about a year. Why so long? Just because you wanted to take some time, or they just didn't offer you anything for that long?
No, I had a surgery. I had surgery and rehab, and so it was just an injury. But I'm good now, ready to go.
I'm sure you're ready for this one too, because being off for a year, just getting that itch to get back in that octagon.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to be away, and I think more than even just competing is just being out of the gym when you're hurt. Having surgery and then having to rehab, not being there at the gym every day, kind of sucks. But yeah, I mean, I've been back training for a while now, and I can't wait.
You fight at 145. Is it a tough weight cut for you?
Not anymore. Not really. I just prepare really well. You just have to. It can be a very hard weight cut. It has been in the past for me, but now I just I have a good nutritionist. His name is Douglas Fry. He's actually the husband of Jen Yu Fry, Invicta champ, and man, I just I eat right and I train hard and my weight comes down throughout the camp, and now I mean the week of the fight I only lose about 8 to 10 pounds.
No, that's nothing. That's nothing compared to some of these guys knocking out 20-something pounds.
Yeah, I mean, but I start the camp off at like 30, so I usually walk around about 175.
And you weigh in at 145. That's a bit. That's 30 pounds.
Yeah, but if you do it right, throughout the camp, it comes down easy, and you just, make weight pretty easy. I don't really cut much water weight anymore. I only spend about an hour in the hot tub or sauna total now, and then that's it.
Do you, like you said about water loading, so you're not a big fan of water loading. You think that does more damage than just, like you said, a dietitian and eating right and cutting out bad food?
I mean, as far as water loading, yeah, I water load. I mean, I drink during my camp the last 5 weeks camp. I try and drink about 2 gallons of water a day, a gallon and a half, and then about a week before the fight, yeah, maybe like the Thursday or Friday before I leave to go there. So like a week and a few days before the fight, I sodium load. So I eat a bunch of salt, and, I put a bunch of salt in my food. And then the week of the weight cut, I just completely cut it out. And then all the water kind of comes off itself. Like I said, I've been drinking, when you're drinking 2 gallons of water a day, and then that last 24 hours, you kind of just cut the water out and you cut all the sodium out after you sodium loaded too. The weight just falls off you.
Yeah, you hear so much about weight cutting in today's MMA. With people missing weight almost every card. Normally, you have somebody at least miss at least every fight card, and some people miss horribly. And then you see some people look like they're about to die on the scale. Weight cutting seems a lot more in the media now than it was, say, 5 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been there. Like, I've never missed weight, but I mean, I've had I would say some of the hardest cuts that anybody's had. I've had some really, really hard ones. I cut, in 4 weeks, I cut from 85 to 45 to fight. And last time I fought in Colorado, I just took kind of a short notice fight, and I was heavy. And that was a hard one. I mean, I've had some really, really tough weight cuts. Things happen, though, during camp. Sometimes people get sick or are unable to cut weight the way that they expected to the last week, and the weight just stays on. And I mean, shit happens. To me, I feel like just giving everything you have to make it. I feel like that if somebody steps on the scale at 5 pounds over and they look like they haven't tried, they shouldn't be able to fight. I mean, if you're missing weight, you better look like shit. Honestly, I mean, you have to at least give it that effort. But some of these guys, I think the reason it's in the media so much is that I think people are kind of taking advantage of only losing 10-20% of your purse if you miss weights. I mean, if you think about it, if you give everything you got and you drain yourself completely and you make weight and then you lose the fight because you were fighting, you couldn't completely rehydrate yourself back and fight. You're fighting at like 60-70%, or your cardio goes early because you cut so much weight, then you lose half your purse. But if you miss weight, you go ahead and stop cutting weight, and you're 5 pounds over, and you didn't have to lose those last. Because really, it doesn't get that difficult to the last 3-4 pounds. I mean, that's where it's hard. That's where it fucking sucks. You miss weight. They only take 20% of your purse, your show purse, and then you win the fight. I mean, you still, you still came out on top.
Yeah, and especially if you don't cut those last 5 pounds and it gives you enough energy to land a devastating knockout. You can't get performance of the night. I forgot that. They won't give you fight of the night if you miss weight. So, but yeah, if they didn't do that, you could win knockout of the night or something, and 10% ain't shit.
Yeah, for sure.
But now I understand where they have it, where you can't win fight of the night. But it sucks for your opponent too, because they can't win a fight bonus or anything. But we'll get right.
Now, actually, it's better if you end up getting fight of the night, your opponent gets the whole 100,000. They don't even split it 50-50. They just give your opponent both.
Oh, that's actually better. It makes people. I believe they're kind of getting better at it, at getting people at the right weight class, but I think that they need to add weight classes. You think that's the solution is just add some more weight classes?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to it. For me, personally, where I'm at 145, 125, 135, 145, 155, 170, I don't really see a need for any more weight classes where I'm at. The place where I could see us adding weight classes would be, or the place where I think they should have weight classes would be, heavyweight. You're going from 205 to 265 or 280. I don't.
265.
Wrestling 265?
Yeah.
From 205 to 265, that's a huge jump. I think they should have something in between there, but I don't know. I don't really. It doesn't matter to me if they had weight classes or not. I like 145. That's where I'd stay, anyways.
Have you ever thought about jumping to 155, or are you just a little too small for some of those 155ers?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm too small. I would say I'm probably decent size, but I like 45. I like the discipline that it takes to get there. I feel like I'm in better shape when I get there, and it's to me, half the battle is making the weight. So it's a big, it's an accomplishment every time you make the weight when you're losing 30 pounds, and it takes a lot of discipline throughout the camp to do it. So I like 45.
So, who did you have winning? Before we get into everything that happened, who did you predict to win between Conor and Khabib?
Khabib. Yeah, I will generally lean towards the wrestler.
I had Khabib winning by submission. I called it. I called it the second round. I thought that it would be a second round Kimura, but it was a fourth round rear naked choke. How did you have him winning? Like a smash?
I thought he was gonna. I thought he was gonna win by second or third round TKO.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
good.
I thought he was gonna take him down and just beat him up and just keep beating him up and TKO him.
Yeah,
That's kind of how I saw it.
that was definitely a big possibility. I thought a decision was a big possibility too, because you know how Khabib's style is. Conor did great though. He actually won the third round. And for Khabib, you know how Khabib's opponents look at the end. They look beat the fuck up. Their face is all swollen and mashed up. Edson Barbosa looked like hell. Ali Quinta was beat up and bloody. Conor really didn't look that bad. He had a little mouse. Like, he had one black eye. And compared to other guys that Khabib's fought, Conor did a great job at not getting smashed. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I think he did a pretty good job. I think they worked hard on his takedown defense and sitting against Cage. But I mean, honestly, he really didn't do much. I think he did do a good job at just not getting beat up too much, but he really got dominated.
He
the whole
got
fight.
dominated, but he didn't get smashed. He didn't get smashed, but he got dominated, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Yeah.
I thought the third round was interesting because Khabib looked exhausted. Khabib looked tired, and he kind of was just maybe regrouping for the fourth and the one that he finished in. But Conor was he won the third round, I'm pretty sure, on every scorecard, and was looking good. Conor's got this thing, where round one and round two, he's really good on the feet. And then he kind of stumbles in round three, and midway through round four, he kind of picks it back up and gets his second wind a little bit, and then he fades again in round five. With Conor, his cardio's always been that question, but at the end of the day, I think that he did pretty good against Khabib.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he did all right. Definitely can tell he's been working his takedown defense and a little bit of jiu-jitsu positioning. So I think he did it right.
I think it's fair to say that he did the best anybody's ever done against Khabib in the UFC.
I don't know about that. I think,
maybe Gleison Tebow. I forgot about
Gleison Tebow.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. But for sure, Conor did great. Do you think they should do a rematch? Because I don't think they should. I think if they do a rematch, Conor just loses again, the same way.
Yeah, I think that Conor would lose that fight 99% of the time. No, I'd like to see Tony Ferguson fight Khabib. I'd like to see Kevin Lee fight Khabib. I'd like to see, those are two fights that are really interesting to me. So
after
I actually think Kevin Lee's a pretty good matchup for Khabib.
Probably. I like Conor versus, of course, we got to see Conor Nate 3. We have to at some point in time. But I like the idea of Justin Gaethje fighting Nate Diaz, and I like the idea of Conor fighting somebody like a Kevin Lee or an Ali Quinta to get himself back. I think Conor needs the Nate fight and maybe one more, and then we might not see Conor no more, especially if he loses both of them.
I think Kevin Lee would smash Conor. Ali Quinta, might be a good one. I don't know. I'd have to go look at some of Ali Quinta's fights. He's good, but I can't recall like really his style too
Al
much.
actually
But
has a win over Kevin Lee.
does he?
Yeah, it's been a lot. It was a long time ago. It was early in Kevin Lee. Like he's went above and beyond since that fight. But Al actually has a win over Kevin.
Nice. I'd like to see Conor fight somebody like Edson Barboza.
I was going to say that too, but I think Conor doesn't want any of those. I think, if you ask me, I think we see Conor fight Nate the third time, and Conor's got so much pull and so much say-so, we might see that rematch with Khabib. And let's say that he loses against Nate, which is possible, because that's a bad matchup for him. And let's say he loses against Khabib, which is highly possible. I predicted a while back that Conor McGregor could very easily retire on a 3 or 4 fight losing streak.
No, yeah, I mean, maybe so, but the guy's he's one of those guys. He just never. I mean, he can knock anybody out. You just never know. He's a very talented individual. But what I'd like to see, I'd like to see him fight Max Holloway again. To be honest, I'd like to see Max Holloway get another crack at him.
Not at 145 though, right? At 155.
Either way, I don't really. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. I just like to. Max is a big 45 too. I think.
Yeah, but
so
Conor almost
I think
kills himself.
Max has grown throughout his UFC career. I think he's matured a little bit, and I think his body has just grown. I think he's probably put some time in on the weights.
Conor kills himself to make that 145 though. He looks like death when he hits that weight.
Yeah, he looks bad. Yeah, it's hard weight cut for him.
So after the fight, Khabib chokes him. It wasn't even really a rear naked choke. It was like a neck crank. He cranks him. Conor taps, and you can kind of tell Khabib pushes his head down, a little bit, and kind of shoves him down, and then starts yelling at him. Then rips his mouthpiece out and throws it at the cage, yelling at Dylan Dennis, which is Conor's jiu-jitsu coach. And then he jumps the cage. And you could see the look on the fans, the look on the security was like, oh, holy fuck. He jumps the cage, and I thought that he was going to jump it and maybe, talk some shit, get up there and taunt. He jumps it and then full-blown drop kicks into Conor's team. And Dylan and him start fighting a little bit, and then they break him up. And then, I don't know, have you seen the extended footage that they released this morning?
No.
There was all the angles. The only thing we had seen so far was the pay-per-view event. And this morning, somebody released one of Khabib, after Khabib jumped out and they kind of separated Khabib and Dylan, Khabib's team member jumped on top of the cage to go help Khabib, and Conor runs over and hits him with a left hook. And then he jumps down and starts fighting with Conor, and that's when the dude in the red shirt comes up and he hits Conor from behind. And then after he hits Conor from behind, Conor runs over to Khabib's corner again and rips the wig that Khabib wears, that Russian wig. He rips it out of one of Khabib's guys' hands and throws it on the ground. And then they finally separate them. They bring Khabib in, and Dana says, I'm not giving you your belt. I'm not strapping the belt on you. Just get out of here. And then as Khabib was leaving, one of the fans threw a beer in his face as he was leaving. What were your thoughts and what was going through your head as you were watching this?
I mean, there's a lot of emotion going on there. It's a big fight. Conor, you got to think this guy's been verbally attacking this dude for however long, talking about his family, talking about his religion, talking about his culture, talking about his country. Man, fuck with the eagle, you get the talons. You know what I'm saying?
The bus attack.
But, I mean, whatever. You gotta. Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily the right thing to do. It's not the most professional thing to do to jump out of the cage and start a fight. But man, you're gonna talk about someone's values and everything that that is super important to them. It's not a game to some people. It's not. It's obviously not a game to Khabib. That's not something that he wants to deal with. I think he felt like he'd been, verbally assaulted, and then so he, came back at him how he knows how. But it is what it is. I don't think it's any. I don't think. I think people are being a little too dramatic about it. Honestly, a lot of people are like, "This sets MMA back. This does this. This does that." Doesn't do shit. I mean, to be honest with you, it's no different than a baseball team clearing the benches and starting to brawl. It's no different than hockey teams clearing